All right, let's bring on our guest. During his NFL career as an all-pro offensive lineman, he was a guiding light for running backs, and he also actually appeared on the show Guiding Light. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champion, high school wrestling champion. He makes a stinking good chili, if I may so myself. Mark Schlereth is here. What's happening, Mark?
Things are good, man. Always great to be on with you. I'm standing out here, or I'm sitting out here on the lanai at the hotel and just enjoying some sunshine. I've got this makeshift little cover. It's from my grandson's stroller, and I'm trying to keep the heat off my phone because I did one of these the other day, and my phone just quit working with an overheating message. So,
really,
in the middle of doing a podcast, it was over. So, anyhow, I'm trying to save the phone while I talk to you.
You're so resourceful. You could turn this stroller. Maybe you could market this yourself and make millions like you did with the chili. Maybe something else.
I'll let you know when I make millions. That would be news to me.
By the way, you almost made it off of me. I mean, I eat it constantly. I still have a couple tubs left, but I put it on Ritz crackers. I got to stop because I'm a big fat slob, but I just put it on Ritz crackers and burn the crap out of my mouth, but I love it. I love it.
Let me just say this, Cousin Sal, there's no turning back. It's not like all of a sudden you're going to get fit and fine and, you're going to be a supermodel. There's just no turning back. You just stay with it. It's worked for you this far. Stay with it.
That's true. It's worked. I'll have 3 more years of my life remaining. That'll be good. But you're coming to us from Hawaii. Did you make the Pro Bowl again? What happened?
Yeah, exactly. They quit doing the Pro Bowl here. I just, as soon as I got done, I called the last game of the season for myself, week 18, between Seattle and Arizona. And my wife brought all the grandkids and the kids out. And so I jumped on a plane first thing Monday morning and direct shot over to Hawaii. And we're just hanging out at the pool and doing a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, you did that Seahawks-Cardinals game. Could have been a bigger game for the Cardinals. They would have grabbed the division had they come back. What was the best game you did this season for Fox?
Oh, shoot. That game was good. We had a Minnesota-Baltimore game in Baltimore that was an outstanding game. We, I had the Giants, I think, 6 times. So you do the math on that. It's I pissed in somebody's Cheerios because there's not a whole lot you can do to put lipstick on that pig, So you tried to do the best you could, but that was a really bad football team.
Yeah, we were going over their first half numbers. What did they? They had like 3-0 threes. They didn't score any points in the first half or over the game too. I shouldn't just blame the first half. They were a mess. Hey, I do want to ask you about this little feud you're getting into with these Bengals fans. You said in the beginning of the year or after the draft that they should not have drafted Jamar Chase in the first round. The pick would have been better spent protecting Burrow with an offensive lineman. We talked yesterday about this game. I think you're going to have bragging rights this week. I think the Raiders and Max Crosby crush Burrow, and you're going to be right at least for, a few hours.
Yeah, well, it's not so much about being right. It's more about it's the philosophy of football in general. To my perspective, you had some really good receivers. You had a good tight end. You had some good receivers. Now, Jamar Chase has been unbelievable. So, I don't have any issue taking the L on that one. He's been great. But I'm always believed, especially come playoff time, when you can dominate the line of scrimmage, when you control the line of scrimmage, you can protect your quarterback, good things are going to happen to you as a football team. So, that was kind of my philosophical approach. Now, I'll be the first to admit, all I do is prep. All I do is watch NFL football. All I do is study and prep for my games and do all that stuff. So college football is on in the background. But I'm just not I'm not one of those guys that I don't have the bandwidth. I'm just not smart enough to follow everything, right? I really am. I'm not. So
is that why they put you on the Giants game?
Yes, that may be the case right there.
Makes you a better announcer.
Right. So, but that's just a philosophical approach to football, which pissed off, Cincinnati fans. Well, the crazy thing is, as I said that, right after the draft, and then as soon as they win the NFC North or AFC North, then they come after me, right?
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, you can celebrate without coming after me. Just celebrate. You guys haven't won jack squat in forever. You see the meme going around that nobody has ever once texted congratulations to Cincinnati Bengals because they just won a playoff game. Because the last playoff game they won was in 1991. The first text was sent in 1992. So you can celebrate without coming after me, but a bunch of people came after me. And, I'm going to bow my back. I'm a competitor. There's always a game going on. If you don't know what the game is, you're probably it. And so,
right.
I don't mind mixing it up a little bit. So I have mixed it up with Bengals fans, which makes me feel like, it makes me feel good. I think that's a good thing. Yeah. I think it's good sports hate.
It's great. It's the best. There's nothing better. And you're going to miss it in like May or June, right? When there's nothing going on. One more L I want to talk to you about that you took here. You came on here in April or May. You famously broke the news that Aaron Rodgers, according to your sources, was going to Denver. And I asked you if you were worried that you'd be wrong. And you remember what you said?
No.
You were like, no, why should I be worried? Is someone going to beat me up? And and we all got a good laugh out of it. And then it's reports that Vic Fangio punched you in the mouth in a parking lot because you ruined his season. Is this true at all?
No, it is not. That is not true.
Okay.
And I still light the candle every night that Aaron Rodgers comes to Denver. So I'm still holding out. I'm holding out hope because Denver, it's been a long time since they've had a quarterback that was worth the sport of piss. So I'd love to see Aaron Rodgers be there. And obviously, I think people would be really shocked and amazed how many times really prominent players' names come up in trade talks. Now, most of them never go through, but I will tell you this, after I got the tip that I got and talked to the people I talked to, now I probably should have sourced it more, but I was so excited about the potential of Aaron Rodgers coming to Denver. I was like, I was like a giddy school kid, I couldn't wait. And I'm not a reporter, so that's the news I got. But kind of looking back on that situation, an interesting thing happened to me. So, I get a phone call after I'm on my radio station and talking about what I heard. I get a phone call from the Broncos. And I've gotten many phone calls from the Broncos over the years to say, hey, let me add some context to that, or that didn't really happen. Let me tell you what happened, or whatever it is, right? Or they're trying to set the narrative and they're trying to direct the narrative. And I got a phone call from the Broncos, and it wasn't, hey man, that's not true. Hey man, we're not talking to Aaron Rodgers. Hey man, a deal in principle wasn't made. They said, how did you get that information? Are you talking directly to Aaron? That's all they said to me. It wasn't, there was never one time where they said, hey man, this isn't true, or this isn't going down, or whatever. So I know that those conversations, I know the conversations happen. But again, I think that the Packers came to the realization that, oh my God, we're about to go down the road with Jordan Love, and no offense to Jordan Love, but as soon as you say no offense to Jordan Love, then you're going to offend him. Yeah, he stinks. He's not ready for prime time. And I think they realized that over the course of their OTAs and their mini camps in the preseason. And, so I think that's really what ended up happening there in Green Bay.
What kind of coach could bring Aaron Rodgers in? Now, there's a vacancy obviously now in Denver. Is there a type of coach? Is there a specific coach you have in mind that could maybe make this happen, or bring any good quarterback? I don't know if you even like Russell Wilson or what's whoever else is out there in the free agent. Maybe you should coach, Stink. Maybe get in there. Roll up your sleeves.
That would require a lot more work than I really want to put in.
All right.
And so I get job offers all the time to coach, but offensive line stuff and to help out. And I consult for several teams. So I do consult for a bunch of teams, just about the running game and a lot of that kind of stuff. So that kind of scratches that itch, if you will. For Aaron Rodgers, I think it's really more about being involved and being able to kind of make some decisions in regards to who comes in, who they keep, all those kind of things. So I think that's really what pissed Aaron off more than anything else is, don't, hey man, I want Corey Linsley. I want to keep my center. And then all of a sudden he's gone. And then, I want some opportunity to have my voice heard. Oh yeah, no problem, Aaron. We'll hear your voice. And then they do exactly the opposite of it. That's not really hearing anything, So I think those are the things that matter. So for Aaron Rodgers, it's very much like when Peyton Manning came here under John Fox. Peyton Manning. I had a conversation with John Fox at practice. They were doing blitz pickup, and Peyton Manning demanded that they work on blitz pickup. And it's hilarious watching him orchestrate. Like, not one coach is saying anything. It's Peyton Manning's drill, right? So they've got their 12 plays of blitz pickup, and he's directing traffic. And then all of a sudden, somebody doesn't run the route exactly like he wants to. And then he's yelling at him. He's pissed off. Then he walks over there and he shows him, and he's so non-athletic, right? So he's showing him how he wants the route run. You know, he's like, did you hit this? And it's just the whole thing is ridiculous, right? And John Fox is standing by me. He looks at me and goes, we're the least blitz team in the National Football League because 18 will just eviscerate people. So nobody brings pressure. And yet he demands that we do this drill every single day. And what do? I just go, hey, have at it. Enjoy your little fun time, right? But Peyton wanted to do it. So I think Aaron would just like that kind of input and the ability to kind of control some of those things. And I think he's earned the right to have that.
Yeah. Absolutely. What in general do you think the coaches are getting too short a leash? Or I don't remember it being. I mean, it's Black Monday is now. It's 5 to 7 coaches a year. Just almost every year.
Right, and people are more apt to change now, and you know, there's part of me that feels like, you don't ever get a chance to establish yourself. You don't ever get a chance to build, and I understand that, but all you have to do is look at the outlier that is Arizona. I mean, they had Steve Wilkes, who came in in 1 year. They drafted Josh Rosen, I think 10th overall, and that was the direction they were going. And they looked at that situation and said, it's not working. And they canned everybody. And then they went out and got Cliff Kingsbury, and they drafted Kyler Murray, one overall, first overall.
Right.
And I think in today's game, especially with the rookie wage scale and everything else, they've realized, hey, man, it's better to change early and not get hamstrung and ruin your franchise for the next 10 years than it is to hold on for a year or two too long and miss opportunities. I mean, I think that's exactly what happened in Denver. They drafted the guy by the name of Paxton Lynch, who just flat couldn't play. And they hang on to the guy for 3 years. And in 2018, in hopes that he would all of a sudden the light would go on, they bypassed taking a quarterback in that draft. Now, I mean, Josh Rosen didn't really work out. Doesn't look like Sam Darnold's going to work out. It looks like Baker Mayfield's under question. Obviously, Josh Allen has been great, and Lamar Jackson has been awesome. But the bottom line is they bypassed an opportunity to solve the situation because they hung on to Paxton Lynch, and then during training camp, at the end of training camp, they just cut him, and we're like, well, this is straight up not going to work. And I mean, he goes out to Canada to revive his career, and he's relegated a 4th string quarterback. I mean, who knew they kept four quarterbacks in Canada, for crying out loud?
Right.
It's ridiculous. So I think teams are just more apt to say, hey, man, let's make the change quickly and see what we can, see if we can achieve something.
I got to tell you, I listen to you talk and you sound more like a GM. I'm sorry. I suggested you should coach in the rank. You should be a GM. If this stroller shade patent doesn't work out, GM, take the first GM job that's thrown at you. Now, underdogs perform particularly well in this round of the playoffs, at least against the spread in my world. What do you think? What's you see an upset? You see 2 upsets out of the 6 or even more?
Well, I think there's a couple games that I would look at. I think one of the games, the Niners, and I know that's a trendy pick for everybody, but to me, the strength of the Cowboys is really that defense, and they're outstanding. Their ability to rush the passer with Gregory on one edge, DeMarcus Lawrence on the other edge, Odighizuwa inside is a really good player. Obviously, Micah Parsons and all that. They're really good at bringing pressure. And what San Francisco is best at is really keeping it simple, but making it seem complex. So they'll really, in any given game plan, they'll base out of their zone, whether it's tight zone or wide zone stuff, and they'll have a couple adjunct run plays to it. But the thing they do better than anybody else, motion, formational changes, personnel grouping changes, they're constantly keeping you on your toes. And so they can run one play, but they can make it look like 6 or 7 different plays. And so for a defense, it always has you playing on your heels. And then Kyle Shanahan does a phenomenal job of creating explosive plays off of those things in the passing game. And so I think the biggest strength of Dallas is their ability to rush the passer, their ability to get after you in the passing game. And the biggest strength of the 49ers is not getting into those situations. And so that's where that matchup is really intriguing to me. So, if you get to the point where you stop your run game and you keep them in third long, you'll beat the snot out of the 49ers. But if you let them get going in the run game, and I tell you, like I told you, I consult for a bunch of different teams. I have over the last couple of years. But I probably talked to 12 different teams this offseason just about the running game in general, from offensive coordinators to O-line coaches to running coordinators, all that stuff. All 12 of them that I talked to, every single one of them was studying the 49ers run tape. There was not one team that wasn't studying the 49ers run tape, and they're just ahead of the game that way. So I really like that game. I think that that game intrigues me quite a bit. Other than that, I mean, I think most of I'm with you on the Raiders, the potential of an upset there, although the last time they played a few weeks ago, Cincinnati just blew them out of the water, and Cincinnati is a damn good offense that has a lot of swagger. So, what I see though is I see Philadelphia, Tampa being close. I think Tampa wins it, but I don't think it's a 8.5 or 9 point game. That's kind of where I'm at with that. So we shall see.
I know it's going to be very exciting. Yeah, you brought up that 49ers running game, and I wonder, there's so much pre-snap motion and everything, but then you're right. It does just become a simple run game after all. It's like a batter who's like the crazy, right. But when he settles down, the split second before swinging, it's just like everybody else. And yeah, I worry about that as a Cowboys fan too. Go ahead, Harry. You want to say something?
Oh, I was going to ask Mark. I live in Scottsdale. I know Arizona made it to the playoffs this year, but I know they tanked down the stretch last year. Kingsbury in his third season here, he did the same thing at Texas Tech too, tanked second half of the seasons, and he had Patrick Mahomes. If they lose this game on Monday and don't look good, what do you think the case is going to be with Steve Keim? What is he going to do with Kingsbury next season?
Well, I mean, they were 8-1 on the road. They lost some home games late against
last 5 games at home,
right? That really against. Indianapolis is a damn good team. The Green Bay Packers is a damn good team. They lost to some really good teams. And I think it's part of the learning curve. I think it's part of the learning how to win curve. And, and quite frankly, I think Cliff Kingsbury's done a pretty good job of taking what he wants to be offensively and morphing it into some more traditional things. And I think you saw a lot of that happen this year. Now, they're just out of sync on the offensive side of the ball. They lost Edmonds for 4 weeks to a high ankle sprain. That's hurt them in the running game. They also lost James Conner to a heel bruise that cost him a couple of games. So down the stretch, where they were really good in the beginning of the season, is multiple tight end packages, running the ball, setting up their play action stuff, being almost a little bit more traditional than they had been in the past. They made the trade for Zach Ertz. They haven't had that kind of second tight end that can really, I like to call him the F tight end, which would be Ertz, which is more the pass receiving tight end in the West Coast offense. And then the Y, which is a guy that's really lined up on the end of the line of scrimmage that becomes almost like an extra offensive lineman, can still, go out and catch passes, obviously, but he's more of a run game threat. And since they've lost some of that, they've kind of really struggled a little bit more being consistent in the run game. So I look at them and say, hey man, they've made great strides over the course of the year. It's really, it's really hard. And backside of the year, the last quarter of the year has been kind of a disappointment, but this game is really hard and you're in the playoffs and you got a chance. And I think Cliff has done a pretty damn good job, all things considered.
I wish I could trust either of these teams more, right? The Rams seem like they should be winning 41-16 some of these games, but they fall apart. I don't think we've seen this in any division where one coach owns the other and that coach owns another coach, and then throw Pete Carroll in the mix. He plays better against some coaches than other. I don't remember this in a long time, but
yeah, this is exciting. This is how it was when I came in the league, when I broke in the league in the late 80s in the NFC East. It was really interesting because I was playing in Washington, and so it was a 3-team race. The Cardinals were in our division at the time, but they didn't really count. Yeah. And the Cowboys weren't really good at the time. They were trying to figure themselves out. So it was really a 3-team division, and Washington could never beat the Giants. The Giants just owned us all the time. They owned us. And the Giants couldn't beat Philly. Philly owned the Giants. And the Eagles couldn't beat us. And so at the end of the day, we would all just, have this kind of round robin tournament. We'd all have the same record at the end of the day in that division because of kind of the way we were constructed. Sometimes it's just the way you match up with the teams. I'm with you on the Stafford thing, though. I think part of Stafford's issue is for 12 years, he played in a horrible franchise, in a situation where you got to go out and make every play. And we're not going to win unless you take, unreasonable chances with the ball because we don't have enough players. And so, you throw it into a team meeting enough, somebody else in that, somebody on the defense is going to catch the ball. And that's part of what's cost him, it cost him over the course of his career. And occasionally he gets into that kind of mismanagement of the football game. You've got a great football team. You've got a defense that can create turnovers. You've got a defense that can win you a game. You've got an offense with the players that you have. I just think that sometimes he reverts back to decision-making from his Detroit days and kind of almost forgets that you actually have a good football team around you. I think Sean Payton does that Sean McVay does that to a certain degree as well. Like that team is really predicated on running the football, the wide zone stretch stuff, get downhill, create some play action stuff off of that. And that's where they're at their best. So it'll be really interesting to see exactly how they approach this playoff game.
It's going to be a good one. Well, Stink, you've said it all. You really have. You're in Hawaii. I don't know why you're talking to us. You have a luau to attend. You have to roast a pig. You have so much going on.
Yes, exactly.
Do you want to plug anything other than that great stinking good chili that you sell?
No, I'm trying to, I'm on vacation. I'm trying to get off the plug game right now. I mean, it just, it just takes too much of my time.
I think I know why you're on vacation. Well, you don't need a reason to go to Hawaii. Ask Harry. He's there 4 times a year. But I think you look at your lawn, which you can't manicure now in these winter months. And you're like, you lose your mind, right? Like, right. I can't be here.
I was walking around this beautiful facility that we're staying at right now. And I was like, man, you know what? My dream job, if, I would just leave the family for 3 months of the year and just say, hey, I got work to do and come over here and just work on picking up leaves and keeping things tip top over here. It would just be that or mowing golf courses would be like my dream job.
Yeah. Nice. No, but you thought consulting for the Giants was your dream job. Don't think I didn't pick up on that. But now you got another dream job.
Yeah, that'd be a tough one.
Thanks so much, Stink. I appreciate you coming on.
You got it, guys. Be well. Take care.
All right.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.